واجهت كثير صعوبات هون. أول شيء أول شهر أجيت فيه ما رحت على المدرسة لأنه ما كنت بعرف إنه في مدارس هون، ضليتني زعلانة كثير إنه ما كان في مدارس. ثاني شيء ما كان إلي رفقات هون، ما كان إلي ولا في يعني ما كنت أطلع لبرا.
طرح على وزن فعل. تفضلي. ممتازة.
ما كنت متوقعة إنه أدرس هون، بس الحمد لله إنه هون فتحوا مدارس ودرسونا هون.
تفضلي.
استقبل المسلمون ضيوف الأردن استقبالا حافلا. يعني كان الوضع هون يعني أول شيء ما كان عاجبني، بس لأنه في مدرسة هون فإنه يعني إنه خلص حطيت ببالي إنه هون خلص رح أدرس هون.
أرجع. ممتازة.
رنا عمرها 17 من جيلي، وإسراء أصغر مني بسنة 16، وبس هذول تنتين رفقاتي اللي تعرفت عليهم هون بالمخيم. نحن هون بنضل يعني نكتب وظائفنا سوا، أحيانا بنروح الملاهي سوا، بس بنروح المدرسة سوا. نحن يعني بدنا شيء أكثر من هيك. يعني دائما كل يوم نفس اليوم، ما في شيء بيتغير.
في عندنا كثير هون شباب، نحن عندنا قاعدين يعني ما بيسووا شيء. المشكله انه قاعدين بيضلوا دايرين بالشمس بين الكرفانات، يعني من كثر ما بيتعبوا يعني بجوز يتخانقوا مع بعضهم، يعملوا مشكله يعني من بعضهم.
أنا بسوريا أكثر شيء بفتقد له هو رفقاتي أكثر شيء، وبيتي والشوارع والسوق وكل شيء يعني، وعماتي وأهلي وخالاتي كله. أملي إنه نرجع وطننا أكثر شيء.
To, co tutaj robimy i na miejscu na Bałkanach.
What we are doing here and in the Balkans, it's a way of raising our voice to protest against the policies of countries in our region which are not taking action in the face of the humanitarian crisis which is happening in the Balkans at the moment.
Czynienia na Bałkanach, czyli z kryzysem humanitarnym. Ja jadę drugi raz, my żeśmy z...
I'm going for the second time. 2 weeks ago we came back with several people after a first trip. So we decided to launch a new collection To our great surprise, the reaction of ordinary people has been huge.
Dużą oddolną pomoc.
Well, the senior European police officer has warned that vulnerable refugees stranded across Europe are being preyed upon by organized criminal gangs which force them into prostitution and slave labor. Europe's Chief of Staff, Brian Donald, said the criminal gangs identify unaccompanied children and young women to exploit them in prostitution and illegal labor. He made the comments at an international conference on human trafficking in Madrid. He said that children traveling alone or in groups without adults are particularly at risk. More than 700,000 asylum seekers have arrived in Europe since the beginning of this year. Most of them are fleeing wars in the Middle East and North Africa. Independent scholar and political commentator Wahed Azal joins us now from Berlin to offer us more insight on that story. Mr. Azal, welcome to the program. It seems
Thank you very much.
that the circumstances and conditions for the asylum seekers in Europe seems to be degrading by the day.
It is. And actually, Johannes Wilhelm Rohrig, who is the Federal Commissioner for Child Sexual Abuses, only a few days ago warned that there are very organized criminal pedophile gangs that are quite active within some of these refugee camps. There was a case that unraveled last week right here in Berlin where a 4-year-old Bosnian refugee seeker was found after a month being abducted in the back of someone's car. And it turned out that the individual who abducted this child was a pedophile. We know for a fact that there are organized pedophile gangs with links to Albanian and Kosovar criminal organizations. It's also rumored to have connections to British and American law enforcement and think tank organizations who are covering for these pedophile groups. So the prostitution and slavery is only one tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more going on.
Mr. Azal, the situation with the asylum seekers in Europe is something that has to be remedied gradually. In your opinion, what should be probably the first part of the recipe for bettering the situation, either for the asylum seekers or quelling the issue as a whole itself?
Well, there needs to be a consensus amongst the EU governments themselves on a unified strategy about how to take care of these people, because at the moment there isn't one. So it's Germany doing pretty much the bulk of the work, especially with the refugees that are coming here, where other European countries are doing thing here, another thing there, or they're not doing it, fully, or it's half-hearted. So there needs to be a concerted, unified strategy between these governments. And, it has to be watertight, so certain interests who are seeking to undermine these strategies are unable to do so.
Thank you very much. Wahed Azal joining us from Berlin. Your comments are much appreciated here on Press TV.
First of all, we are trying to make them feel safe here and feel comfortable here. At the same time, while they're getting used to their new life, we are supporting them. And so, for example, when they have to go to doctor, we are going together. When they have to go, when they start to school, we are the ones who make them start school. And when they have any kind of problem, any kind of question, daily life, they are coming to us, and we are doing it together. And we are trying to make them a bit outgoing, because it's not only about learning the language, it's more about getting used to the new life here, and it's really harder than I thought also. It was also for me not that easy to get used to this life, and we are trying to make it as easy as possible integrating to the new life and to Germany. Yeah, we are talking about people in our house, there are people between 14 and 18. And most of the stuff which has to be done by the parents normally, we are doing it. And yeah, they're totally alone here, and they are also every day messing with, they have to mess with so many institutions, and also regarding their age, they cannot understand everything, but they have to. And we are trying our best that they get used to these new concepts and they somehow survive here and do their we are also making their paperwork and everything. First of all, their status right now, it's not certain. And also the German legislation, there are some situations where also the state doesn't know what to do. Or for example, we are going to a doctor, they don't have one paper they need, and they say, "What we need this paper that they can come to us and get healed." And we say, "No, we don't have this paper." Then we are sitting, okay, what should we do? How can we provide this paper? So we are also messing with the institutions. There's so many situations we also don't know what to do. So we are trying to collect the information as fast as possible, and for example, bringing them to the doctor. Even going to doctor, it's pretty tough. They don't have insurance yet. They don't have these insurance cards yet. How can you go to doctor without it? They don't even have identities. We are trying to make it as fast as possible that they go to doctor. The thing is, also Germany didn't know that so many people would come. Yeah, they were waiting for people, but they didn't know that there would be a huge flow suddenly. One day, for example, it was a Saturday. I remember so good. Suddenly, we had new five boys. What are we gonna do? They have to go to school. Okay, then we go to youth welfare office, and then they are subscribed to a list, and then they have to wait until there is a place for them. And during this time, all the time, the boys are asking us, okay, when are we going to school? We want to go to school. It can take 1-2 months. And we are always the one who are trying to explain them as simple as possible what's going on, that they have to wait, that it's not really anybody's fault that they cannot at that moment go to school. Yeah, but for example, they cannot directly, okay, I want to start school, now I'm walking to the school and I start. It's not like that. There has to be papers filled. The school needs certain information from them, and we are trying to provide all the information they need from us. At the same time, we are trying to give information to the boys. I think they're really surprised about the role of the woman. Where they come from, the woman has to get married early, and now they see the woman, they're self-sufficient, they do everything on their own. And this, I mean, they're not openly saying something, but I can see sometimes, you went to university, you can speak 3 languages, this is really interesting for them. This is something really new for them, that women and men are equal. It is, I don't want to say anything bad, I mean, they just don't know the concept. And we have to get them used to the fact that here things are different. We are coming to the self-sufficiency point. Yeah, it's also hard for us to find this balance between rules and the freedom, because we don't want to load them with so much rules, but they need to learn certain stuff. For example, hygiene problem, cleaning, cooking on their own. Of course, they don't cook all their own, but that they slowly be able to do it without their parents, without their mother, father, without their sisters. We are trying to slowly show them how it works when you live totally alone, actually, because probably they will live alone. So.
A camera operator at a Hungarian television station has been caught on camera kicking and tripping running Syrian refugees. Let's watch. So the camera person that you saw there is Petra Laszlo of N1 TV. This was at the border hotspot of Rosk. And you do see a fairly chaotic scene. You see what could be at the very least many dozens or possibly hundreds of refugees running away from police. So it is a scene of chaos, but it's a scene of chaos that does not need the added cruelty of you tripping an old man holding a child.